Is the desire for internet fame or popularity driving people mad? Before we get into today's video, I just want to let you guys know that this video is for educational purposes only. Please remember to be kind to everybody everywhere, in your everyday life, in your home, in the grocery store, and especially in the comment section down below. Please do not show hate to anybody, anywhere. So good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody doing today? I hope you all are having an amazing day. I hope you all are having a wonderful week. I hope everybody's feeling good. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about a situation that really started gaining a lot of attention or traction or chatter over on TikTok. And this is going to be an ongoing situation, something that you are going to want to follow. So stay with me here. Before we get into it, though, I did want to let you guys know, if you don't already know, hi, my name is Christina. I do have a second channel, which is Casually Christina. We just do things more casually over there. I also have a Patreon. My Patreon's for 18 and up, and over there we talk about more personal stuff. We go live over there. There's a $2 tier for all the true crime stuff that cannot go onto YouTube due to their terms and policies. That goes over on my Patreon under the $2 tier. Just make sure you read the full about section and what each tier offers before you join. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Like to Know It. And Like to Know It is a platform where you can find links to a lot of things that I use, that I love, and that y'all ask about. Everything from clothing items to skincare, hair care, makeup, cooking utensils, workout gear, all kind of stuff that I want to post over there. I do, especially if you're going to be Christmas shopping here in the coming up months and you just can't figure out, like, what do I want to get this person? There's always good inspirational ideas over on my Like to Know It. All of those platforms are linked down in the description box if you would like to come and check me out. So, okay, let's talk about Sarah Grace Patrick. Before we talk about her, I do want to remind y'all, I'm not a professional. I pull all of my information from very public news sources that is already out there. I filter it through my own words and opinions. Please go do your own research. Form your own opinions. Just don't show hate to anybody anywhere. So Sarah Grace Patrick is a 17-year-old from Carroll County, Georgia. Now, Carroll County, Georgia is about 45 miles west of Atlanta, near the Alabama state line. It's considered like the Atlanta metropolitan area, and it is the home of the University of West Georgia and West Georgia Technical College. It has a population of about 120,000 people. Carroll County is known for its diverse blend of like rural and urban communities, and it has a mix of a small town appeal while being just like outside the big city. So you get that country vibe, but also less than an hour, you're in Atlanta for all the good shopping and all the good food. Now, Carroll County is a leader in agriculture, and it has the largest cattlemen association in the state and a huge poultry production base. I could not find a ton about Sarah's upbringing. I've seen some rumors and some whispers, but I'm not going to put all that out there just yet. But what I did find was that she seemingly had a lot of friends growing up, and she had a lot of people that loved her. I found all kind of pictures on her social media, her parents' social media. Her dad has been posting stuff. She's a beautiful young lady, and she just seemed vibrant from what you could see from the outside looking in. Her biological mother and father had quite a few struggles throughout her life, and Sarah did seem to bounce around quite a bit. Now, Sarah actually recently graduated from high school, and she had been working 2 jobs. I saw this post on Facebook from last year where Sarah's mother posted it, and she said, "Go see Sarah at Pelicans, my working girl." And then as you can see, there is Sarah right there in the window. In early of 2025, Sarah was living with her mother and her stepfather, 41-year-old Kristen Brock, and her 45-year-old stepfather, James Brock. The couple were reportedly loved by their community. Kristen and James had been together since 2018, and they ended up getting married on December 12th of 2023. The Brocks, Sarah's mother and Sarah's stepfather, were said to be like fun-loving, church-going people who both had overcome some pretty serious hardships and struggles in life. But they were in love, they had built a nice life together, and the two of them did have a 5-year-old daughter together. So James, who actually goes by Jamie, has grown kids, adult kids, definitely a couple sons that I found online. And then, of course, Kristen has her daughter, Sarah, as well as another son. And then the two of them together have the 5-year-old daughter. Now, James had been struggling with some very serious health issues. He ended up making a post on his personal Facebook page talking about how back in 2022, he was hospitalized for weeks. James had been living with congestive heart failure for about 8 or 9 years at this point. And at the time that he made this Facebook post, he said that the doctors were only giving him 2 years left to live. James also went on to tell everybody that was reading that he had a stroke in 2013 and he had a mini stroke followed by a heart attack in 2022. James had really been through a lot at this point in his life. He talked about losing his will to live and how hard it was being in and out of the hospital on his wife and on his children. But James, who again went by Jamie, was a praying man, and he put his faith in Jesus and continued to press on. Now, at this point, earlier this year, 2025, James had been using an ELVAD machine. An ELVAD machine is a mechanical pump that is implanted to help a weakened heart. It's usually for people with advanced heart failure, and it's typically used in patients as a temporary fix while the patient is waiting for a heart transplant. But even with all of these health issues and struggles and things that they had been through, again, James and Kristen were very much loved by their community, by their church, by their family. As a matter of fact, I saw on Facebook that James's sister posted a picture of a text message between her and her brother James. And as you can see that it says right here, he said to her, "Love you, sis." And she said, "I love you. Are you okay?" And he said, "Yes, just thinking about you." And she said, "Why me?" And he said, "Because you're my sissy, duh." Now, like all relationships, James and Kristen's were not perfect. They had very imperfect moments, and both had actually been to jail in the past, and they had quite a few struggles in their life and their relationship. And there were even some Facebook posts made by Kristen back in 2022 where she was saying that they were broken up. Just typical, unfortunately, sometimes overly emotional Facebook posts where it's like, "I'm leaving James forever, da 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 da." Back in 2022, they had these kinds of issues. However, by this year, 2025, they seem to be overcoming a lot that they were dealing with, as well as dealing with James's health issues head on and enjoying life the best that they could. Until one day in February, when tragedy struck. On February 20th of this year, 2025, Sarah's 5-year-old little sister went into her parents' bedroom, and this is where she found Jamie and Kristen deceased. She ran to go and get her big sister, Sarah, and this is when Sarah realized that they had both passed away. Later, it was discovered from gunshot wounds, and Sarah called 911.
Clients advising that the mother and the stepfather are called to the touch. They think they're beyond CPR and doesn't see anything around them that's suspicious. Law enforcement is en route with you.
A beautiful memorial service was held at James and Kristen's church, and it was standing room only, and friends and family reportedly danced. They prayed together. They listened to some of the Brock's favorite worship songs and really just celebrated their lives. 17-year-old Sarah gave a very touching speech.
"I just wanted to say goodbye to my mama and Jamie since we never got the chance to. I was so used to you guys always being here to the point that I never once thought to imagine y'all not being here. I didn't have a single clue how much I needed y'all until, although there's nothing we can do to bring them back, we still have control over how we treat people. I love you guys, and so do I, and so do they. I'm sorry."
After the memorial, Sarah ended up going on TikTok to share her story. She would make quite a few posts, and she would post about how difficult it was to lose her mother and her stepfather. But sadly, the investigators had still made no arrest by this point, but they were still following up on all the leads that they could, and they were processing all of the evidence that they collected. No one could figure out who could have done this to this family until now. On July 8th of this year, 2025, Sarah ended up turning herself in to the Carroll County Jail, where she was charged as an adult with 2 counts of murder and 2 counts of aggravated assault. Now, you want to talk about a shock to the community. You want to talk about being rattled. Not many people were expecting her to be the one that was arrested. In a press conference, the sheriff's office said that they had mountains of physical evidence and digital evidence against Sarah, plus countless interviews are what ended up eventually leading to her arrest.
From the very moment the 911 call was received, a relentless investigation began, one that would span months, consume thousands of man-hours, and require the full weight of the local and federal law enforcement agency partnerships. Today, we can confirm that an arrest has been made in the case. Kristen Brock's 17-year-old daughter, Sarah Grace Patrick, has been taken into custody and charged with 2 counts of murder and 2 counts of aggravated assault in connection with the deaths of her mother and her stepfather. While the case has not remained in the public spotlight in recent months, the investigation has never gone silent. Led by investigator TJ Repetto, our team has pursued every lead, sifted through mountains of physical and digital evidence, conducted countless interviews, and collaborated with agencies such as the FBI, the GBI Crime Lab, and private forensic laboratories. In a world where television portrays crimes being solved in under an hour, the truth here is much more complex. Real justice takes time. Time to ensure that no detail is overlooked and no stone is not turned over.
And I find it very interesting that the sheriff's office is saying that because this is an ongoing investigation, more arrests and more charges could be coming in the future. The same spokesperson said this in a recent interview.
So basically, throughout this course of the investigation and working with Sarah, investigators have been speaking with her throughout. It's very possible that others are involved, whether they had knowledge or whether they assisted. We're still investigating that aspect. We're still conducting interviews this week. So even though an arrest has been made and we're grateful to bring some closure to the family, as tough as that may be for them, we still have a lot of work to do, and our main goal is to provide full justice for those victims and closure for the families.
So she reaffirms that they have a mountain of evidence against Sarah, and she even said that the 5-year-old in the home ended up hearing the gunshots go off that night, but Sarah said that she didn't hear anything. Now remember, on TikTok, she said she did hear her stepfather's ELVAD machine going off, so how did she not hear the shots? Now, recently in an interview, Sarah's biological father has come out and said that when he was made aware that there were warrants out for Sarah's arrest, he told her and he drove her to turn herself in, and he actually had sat in some interviews with her with officers at one point. Sarah's grandfather has also spoke out, and he said that he believes that Sarah is completely innocent.
You know, she's taking it very hard. She swears by her innocence. I don't know what else to say. I mean, she's always been a good kid. I've always liked Sarah. She was always very friendly, and she never really asked for anything. She was a very, to me, she was just an ideal child. She had just graduated from high school. She was very proud of that. She was working 2 jobs. She was doing very well, and I don't understand what could have ever, if she did do this, what triggered it.
Here's when things start to get kind of scary. After the news of Sarah's arrest got out, several true crime content creators on TikTok ended up coming forward and saying that they had received a bunch of comments, DMs, and even had phone calls with Sarah about her parents' case. Now, do y'all remember earlier that we talked about Sarah had been sharing the incident that happened on TikTok since it happened. This creator right here says that Sarah reached out to her about covering her parents' case.
Why would you ask me to cover a case where you are going to get arrested for taking your parents' lives? Y'all, this is Sarah Grace, and she messaged me back on June 3rd and just said, search up Brock case. So I said, Brock Turner? Brock who? She said, Kristen and James Brock. Hold on. They're my parents, and out of nowhere, a random Thursday night in February, someone came in my house with me and my 5-year-old sister, and my parents left them for me and my little sister to wake up to. Technically, it was a Wednesday night because I found them Thursday morning, and I said, not knowing she was going to wind up arrested for this, I am so sorry. I cannot imagine. I will absolutely research and cover their case. Please take care of you always. Again, not knowing, and I covered it.
And a few other creators have also come out and said that Sarah reached out to them before as well.
TikToker Sarah Grace Patrick, age 17, reached out to me to tell me that she wanted me to research the case.
So Sarah reached out to me on Sunday, and we spoke on the phone, and we spoke via text. And she asked me to speak on her behalf about the night of 2/20/25.
Some people have also noticed that in those videos that Sarah posted where she was talking about missing her parents and so on, that there was a caption or a hashtag that said, should probably delete later or might delete later, which now that we know what we know seems very strange. But I do think that there is probably a lot to this case that we don't know. Investigators say that they are still working to figure out what exactly Sarah's motive may have been. And again, they're definitely leaving the door open for the possibility of more people being arrested in the future. Like I mentioned earlier, recently, Sarah's biological father has given an interview. And in this interview, he clearly believes that Sarah is innocent. There's even a I Stand By Sarah Grace Facebook page where people are like coming together. They all believe that she's innocent. They're making posts. Some of them are saying, I've never met Sarah, but I believe she's innocent. Her father, her biological father's posting in there quite a bit, posting pictures of her, sharing stuff. And there's like a little community that believes she's innocent. It's coming together on Facebook. Now, when her biological father was asked who he thinks could have done this to the Brocks, the subject of a substance deal gone wrong or somebody like getting ripped off for substances is brought up. Y'all listen to this.
Don't like to talk bad about them and their deaths and stuff like that because I know that families are hurting and stuff like that, but Sarah knows more than most people knows. And the only thing that she could think of was there was drug deals go wrong. You know, they ripped somebody off a couple months before that, and Sarah thought that it could be that person. You know, and I'm not, when I say drugs, I'm not talking about like, you know, the hardcore drugs or anything like that. From what I understand, it was over weed or something like that, but a substantial amount. And she was telling the investigators that the whole time. And when we talked to the investigators, they said that they had already, you know, talked to them and said that they counted them out. So
now, me personally, I mean, I don't know anybody that's going to go in there and do this type of thing over like some green, because that's the way it was made to sound. But that could be something that Sarah is telling him. And I mean, come on, nobody wants to believe their child is capable of something. And maybe she didn't do this. Maybe she didn't. However, Jamie or James Brock's niece, she did an interview. And she basically said that they, like that side of the family, have had their suspicions of Sarah, and pretty much nobody believed her.
Do you believe that Sarah is innocent?
No, I do not.
Do you believe that Sarah killed your uncle and his wife, Kristen?
I do. Yes.
Okay. Why do you think that?
It pretty much from the beginning, honestly. I think anybody that hears that she didn't hear gunshots. I think that it's been put out here recently that the house was unusual and the rooms weren't that close, but that's not true. The rooms were very close. The house was small. The bedrooms were all located in one area of the home. And I mean, of course, I'm not out there with a measuring tape, but if I were to guess, between the doorway of Jamie and Kristen's room and Sarah's room, maybe 8 feet.
But also the heart monitor that woke up their little girl, 5-year-old girl, Jaylee.
Right.
Do you believe that was going off for how long?
hours. Had to have been. But what people don't know is that after she got done and the funeral was over, she went one by one to everybody in my family, everybody that knew James, and also hugged us and said she was sorry. Which is an odd thing to say when your mother was murdered. But she continued to call and text my mom for 5 months, multiple times a week, to tell her that she was sorry that Jamie was dead, and she was sorry that she lost her brother. And I mean, she manipulated and lied to my mom and tortured her for 5 months. Nobody believed her.
Really?
I don't know anybody that believed her. And I can't speak for her family. And I won't say names because it is an ongoing investigation. But I can say that multiple members of her family told my mother that Sarah was involved. Jamie has said multiple times that you don't know the real Sarah. He didn't go into detail because, to be honest, when he would tell my mom that, she would be like, oh, Jamie, you've never raised a teenage girl before, And you're not supposed to think anything more of that. But he said multiple times, she's not the sweet Sarah that you guys see. She's not who she puts online. You don't know the real her.
And like I said, law enforcement is allegedly saying that they have a mountain of evidence against Sarah. I really want to see the interrogation videos with Sarah or the interview videos, because the biological father, said that he went in and with her and he probably didn't think anything. And I don't know. We know that the investigators or the police, they get it wrong sometimes. They do. They're people just like anybody else. But they say they have a mountain of evidence, a digital footprint, which makes me wonder, is she texting people? Was she Googling how to get away with something? I mean, I don't know. It's going to be strange. And if convicted, Sarah could be facing life in prison without the possibility of parole. What do I think? I don't know yet. I want to see all of the evidence. I know that during her speech at the funeral, she kept saying that she was sorry. She said, I'm sorry at the end of it, which allegedly made the spidey senses of the investigators going up. Why would she say I'm sorry? And then family members were saying that she was going up and hugging them and saying, I'm so sorry. And their spidey senses were going up. That can go either way for me. I mean, according to Sarah's biological father, she says, I'm sorry. If you bump into her, she'll say, I'm sorry. And I get that. I have been a person that says, I'm sorry in inappropriate times as well too. Oops, sorry, I'm sorry, when I have no reason to be sorry. So I don't see that as the reason for her to be arrested, but obviously an investigation has been done and they feel like they have a mountain of evidence. I seen a few young people. I didn't want to put their videos on here because I just didn't know how old they are. But they said that they went to school with Sarah. And again, this is just a rumor, because Lord knows anytime somebody gets arrested, people start coming out the woodworks and they got stories, and sometimes it's real and sometimes it's not. But it has been confirmed by family that Sarah moved around a lot. There's been people that have been online that were friends with her that spoke good of her, that said that she had been in and out of mental institutions. I don't know if that's true or not, so who knows what really was going on behind the scenes. Did she have mental issues going on? Did she do this? Did she not do it? Was it a substance deal gone bad and she's taking the fall for it? I don't know. What do y'all think? I know I'm going to be following this case very closely because I do want to know. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section down below. Other than that, I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for watching this video, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Love you guys. Bye.